Tonight, we're going to talk about something I think we could all use a little more of, a truly quiet, restful mind. Let's explore what it means to rest on the pillow of promise.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? The day's finally over, your head hits the pillow, and suddenly, your mind decides it's showtime. It starts replaying that one awkward thing you said or stressing about tomorrow's to-do list. It's just this exhausting, endless loop.
But what if there was a way to just quiet all that noise? Not by trying to wrestle it into submission, but by finding something solid to hold on to. Something our source material here calls a spiritual off switch, a real anchor for your soul that finally lets you let go. So let's gently dive into what that looks like.
Okay, so our first promise gets right to the heart of so much of our anxiety. That deep down fear that our life is just spiraling out of control, you know? That we made a wrong turn somewhere and now everything's gonna be derailed.
This verse, you can think of it as the ultimate psychological safety net. And notice the wording here. It's so important. It doesn't say all things are good. Not at all. It says God works in all things for the good. That little distinction, well, it changes everything.
So what that really means for you tonight is this. Even the mistakes you made today, those frustrating delays, the things that felt like total failures, they are all just threads being woven into a much bigger, more beautiful story. You don't have to stay up all night trying to manage the universe. You can actually let go, because the one who holds it all is already taking care of the details.
All right, now let's build on that with our second promise. This one shifts our whole perspective. It's about a kind of peace that we don't have to somehow create ourselves, but one that is simply given to us, a gift.
And right here is the core of it. Jesus draws this really clear line in the sand. There's the kind of peace the world gives, which is, fragile and depends on everything going right. And then there's my peace, which is something else entirely. It's a constant.
And this really shows the difference, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the world's version of peace. That's the peace that only shows up when the bills are paid, all our relationships are perfect, and the future looks totally secure. But then, there's God's peace. And that peace can show up right in the middle of a total mess. It's a peace that doesn't even make sense, because it has nothing to do with our circumstances being perfect.
And this is the reset button for your brain tonight. You don't have to lie there trying to figure out how it's all going to work out. You can find real rest just by remembering and trusting in the who, the one who already knows how the story ends. That's the whole idea of this borrowed peace.
Which brings us to our third and final promise. And honestly, this one might be the most practical one for anyone who has a hard time shutting their brain off at night. It's about giving yourself permission to just drop the weight of a day that hasn't even happened yet.
How simple and direct is that? It's an invitation, really. So much of our late-night anxiety is just us trying to solve tomorrow's problems with today's leftover energy. This verse says, you can stop. You have permission to stop.
The source for this explainer uses this beautiful picture from the Old Testament, the idea of daily manna. God gave the Israelites just enough food for one day, every single day. And it's the same with His grace and strength. You have been given exactly enough peace for this moment, for right now, not for tomorrow.
And that's why we get so exhausted, isn't it? When we lie in bed tonight worrying about tomorrow, we're trying to use today's strength for tomorrow's burdens. Our spiritual batteries just weren't designed to work that way. The promise is that when tomorrow actually gets here, the grace you need for tomorrow will be waiting for you then.
So, okay, we've talked about these three really powerful promises. But what do we do with them? How do we make this real, right here, right now, in our own beds? Let's walk through this super simple, practical exercise called the Great Exchange. So tonight, as you're lying there, I just invite you to try this. Step 1. Gently, without judgment, just name your worries. What are they? Step 2. Actually visualize handing each one of them over. Picture them leaving your mind and being placed in hands that are far more capable. And then step 3. Consciously receive peace in its place. You're making a trade. Your anxiety for His calm.
And maybe let this verse be the last thing that echoes in your mind tonight. What's so amazing here is how it defines safety. See, safety isn't the absence of trouble. It's the presence of God. You can lie down and sleep because you are safe, simply because He is with you. So as you close your eyes, just hold on to this one last thought. If the God who holds the oceans in His hands can manage the cosmos, He can probably handle your Tuesday. The world will still be here in the morning. For now, your only job is to rest.
Well, that's all the time we have. I really hope this brought a little bit of calm to your evening.
I'm really curious. Of the 3 promises, was there one in particular that you really needed to hear the most tonight? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, sleep well. You really are in good hands.